And we're back live.
Sound speeding.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. Good morning, good afternoon.
Hang on. Right as you have a seizure, I eat my phone. Okay, can I actually make it?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever this podcast may find you, fuckers. It is I, your host, Gavin.
And hang on, I'm tangled up. It's
No, you're Justin.
yes, I'm not entangled. I am Justin. Yes.
Are you a Disney Pixar film?
Hell
Because
no.
you're tangled?
No. I am not and never will be.
Dad jokes. All the dad jokes.
Dad jokes, and you're not even a dad yet.
Fucking hope not.
True, that would be bad.
I can't even take care of my damn self, let alone another person.
Yeah, right.
Financially, emotionally,
In any physically.
in any sort of way, no. The availability is just not there.
Yeah.
That's a fucking yikes. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Yikes Day.
Happy fucking yikes. But yeah, we have a Track Daily Crush today. And we're keeping things kind of recent, kind of topical. I started to steal this Track Daily Crush from Everyday Driver because today, on Monday, when we record these episodes, I had like 4 episodes to catch up on during my work day. So guess what I did?
You caught up on 4 episodes.
I caught up on about 3.5 episodes.
Nice.
So that's fun stuff. And yeah, so their Track Daily Crush. And if you have a response to this, feel free to hit us up as well. Let us know what you would do in this situation. But Track Daily Crush, the new Mustang Mach-E, or the MASH, or the Mach-E.
The Mach.
I like the Ford Mustang Mach-E.
Mach-E.
The Mach-E. The Tesla Cyberfuck.
Oh.
And the Maserati.
No. Oh, well, you're talking about what they did.
I'm talking about what they did. They
Okay,
did
yeah.
Ford Mustang Mach-E, the Tesla Cyberfuck, and the Maserati Raise in Italian, also known as Levante. It literally means raise in Italian. And that's part of the ongoing joke with Everyday Driver as well. Is their naming scheme is just the laziest. With the exception of Ghibli, it's the laziest.
Yeah.
4-door, 2 turbos, raise. It's all just Italian translations.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so what we're going to do today is, since they have their own running special joke or whatever, because Paul hates Maseratis,
Yep.
and then he bought a $10,000 Quattroporte.
Yep.
Yeah. Since they have their thing with that, we're going to just keep it strictly with electric cars. And so we want to do the 2 more relevant cars that are out, or not out, but they have been released. The info has been released. They came out of the LA Auto Show. The
Cyberfuck and the Mach-E.
in the Mach-E, yes.
And then the Nissan Queef. I thought of that as you were sitting there. I was like,
the
that
first gen Nissan Queef. We're definitely not a family-friendly audio or a show here, but I'm not going to pretend to be.
I don't think that anybody that knows this would think that this would be a family-friendly show.
That's a good
Mom,
one.
what's a queef?
Anyways, so since Justin went first on the Track Daily Crush last week and stole my thunder, because everything's about me,
It's all good.
I'm going to go ahead this week, and I will daily the Ford Mach-E.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to give my explanation, or I'm going to give my picks first and then explain after.
Okay.
Mach-E is the daily.
Okay.
The Cyberfuck is the track toy.
Okay.
And Crush the Leaf.
Yeah. Okay.
So, my explanation is, I'm stealing part of the ethos of your pick from last week
Okay.
because I don't like the Cybertruck. Okay? I want to beat it mercilessly on a track. I hope I burn out the brakes so I can lose brakes into turn 1 at UMC and go into the wall. I kind of hope for that. Also, it's a race car. It doesn't need to be pretty. You don't need anything on the interior anyway.
True.
It just needs to be bare bones. Plus, I also did see a render today by a digital artist, I forget his name, on Instagram, of this pretty extreme looking Cybertruck. It was lowered and it had like the crazy like almost DTM like rear diffuser and like a wing and stuff.
I think I saw that. I've seen that.
I
same
think it's
one
the
in passing.
Kaiser.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that same one in passing.
It was an interesting render.
I think
It improves the design.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It improves the look tenfold.
I'm not saying it's a good looking vehicle, but I mean, if we're gonna have a race car out of any of these, it's gonna be that one for me.
Yeah.
I feel like the Mustang Mach-E is going to be the more comfortable of the bunch. It's in some weird world the best looking of the bunch. So in case if you're like, imagine if you're downtown in Salt Lake, or if you're in downtown any metropolis area and you drive by a glass building and catch a reflection of your car, you're gonna hate that one the least.
True.
Also, the range is better than the Leaf by a huge margin.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be quick. I'm not saying it's great looking, but it's the best of the three. And it's a Mustang. It's got that pedigree, I guess, for whatever that means. Which I also call bullshit on, but
yeah, using pedigree for something that doesn't.
They're
share
using
that
pedigree for marketing, is all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to crush the Leaf because fuck you. That's kind of it, really.
Yeah, and yeah.
I would also love to run. I would run the Leaf empty, like on battery. I would just run it as hard as I can, like in a canyon, and try to drain it like as much as possible, just to beat the living shit out of it before I finally send it to the crusher, or give it a Viking burial, or what have you.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. I can see what you're talking about. I can pick up what you're putting down. Nice. So.
He's not. I threw my hat on the ground, and he's not going to go pick it up, which is fine.
Hell no. I ain't getting up for your ass. So. Ironically, I'm entering this one having not completely decided up until basically now. I did not decide before we started this because I kind of wanted to make a more on-the-cuff decision. I've kind of settled with agreeing on crushing the Leaf because it's a fucking god-awful, horrid pile of garbage that's a cyst on the ass of the world.
Can you explain why?
There's nothing good about it.
Okay.
Very short. We're talking about the first generation Queef.
Give me deets.
First generation Queef, you're lucky to get over 100 miles on one charge.
Were they advertising like 90?
Yeah.
Like the very first ones?
Yeah.
And that's in like ideal, scenario in Palo Alto, California.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's horrendous range. It's not even remotely good to look at.
Nope.
It's very bubbly and...
Interior is very much an appliance.
It is literally copy and paste, with the exception of a few fancy colors to make it look eco and green. It's copy and paste like Sentra grade interior.
Oh God. Oh yeah, probably.
It more or less is.
Does it have a front like gauge cluster? I've never driven one, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying
I haven't been in one before, so.
With the exception of the couple technology bits, everything else feels.
I mean, it's also Nissan. Their parts bin is not that great, and they use everything in everything.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you get in a GTR, the first time I drove a GTR, my dad was driving his G37X at the time, and there were still buttons being shared between, at the time, a $30,000 Infiniti and a $100,000 GTR.
Yep. Oh yeah. And then on top of that, like, I can't. There's one thing I can't shit on too much, which is, as far as I'm aware, the reliability. But reliability is generally not that big of a problem with most electric cars.
Well, because they're pretty simple at their core.
They're pretty simple at their core.
The running gear is not that complicated.
And on top of that, most of these companies, since electric cars are such a new thing, are putting in a lot more money to just kind of making sure it works.
Yeah.
And I I don't believe, and I'm going to pull this up right now to check. I believe they were pretty damned expensive. And so I'm going to the first generation one, 2010. So 2010 Nissan Leaf. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Never mind. I mean, I guess it's actually, as far as EV goes, it's not that bad. The first generation one for the cheapest one was 25 grand.
And you can pick them up. I mean, a few years later, you could pick them up for $7.
Yeah, they were worth nothing.
Right. I honestly see that happening with the Model 3.
Yep.
Give them like 5 years, and the $50,000 ones will be like 10.
Yep. So the other thing is that it's not even powerful at all.
No,
It only has 107 horsepower.
But it's electric car though. I mean, it's electric motors. They have torque. They're punchy.
Only 200 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah, I mean, for like darting in traffic.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be terrible for that, but
not a track car.
I mean, it's not what you would typically, at least these days, suspect of an electric car. Oh, and let's see. I'm just pulling up the specs right here.
What's the top speed? Is it
87?
I was gonna say I'd be shocked if it cracked 100, but
yeah. And then here was that's the interior. You can see a lot of Sentra influence.
Okay, yeah,
Everywhere, like everywhere except
especially the wheel.
Oh yeah, and the door panels and the seats and everything.
Not good.
Yeah, and it's one of those cars that like it was almost. You could almost see somebody jumping on a trend, except for Nissan kind of jumped ahead of the trend at that point. 2010, I mean, it predates Model S's.
It does.
So, I mean, props to that, but I still look at that and was like, how is that realistically usable? Because if, let's even take a regular commute from like my house to Salt Lake City. That's 35-ish miles each way, okay? And if this is 100 on a good day, that means that every day, me driving my normal commute basically completely discharges it.
Right. I mean, you could in theory charge it when you get to work. You could also just charge it every night before you go to bed.
Yeah. To me, it's just a massive inconvenience, though.
That's a massive inconvenience. I mean, I'm just trying to break this down.
Let's think about this, okay? So charging it at work is one thing, because most likely you're not going to be, except for lunch, going out to do anything at work.
Right.
At home, which is
that basically means that you are bound to just stay at home and you can't go anywhere.
If you want to keep it charging, because that keeps the batteries happy, not starting and stopping charging all the time.
Right.
Which is also probably statistically where most people would end up charging it is at home every night.
Oh, it absolutely would be, yeah.
So you'd basically get home and you'd have like 10, 15 miles of range left. And
if that car works for your lifestyle, though, if you live in a city,
yeah,
right? I mean,
okay, so if it works for the lifestyle as far as mileage is concerned, okay, that's all great. I still don't see a redeeming quality on it because the one
not for your life, no,
the one like even
because there's a bunch of people where that does work for them.
Yeah,
it just doesn't apply to you. Anyways, track daily crush.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I both agree that we're crushing the Leaf.
Yeah, we both agree with that. And I would do the opposite of you. I would probably...
you track the Mustang?
Yeah. Which sounds a little odd because in theory, it would be technically slower than the Cybertruck. So you would daily
the Cybertruck?
The reason being, and the only reason being, because I don't like the design either.
Yeah.
I think it's hideous.
No one has said that they objectively like the design.
As far as I've seen, yeah.
They just love how bold it is and how different it is.
And bold and... See, this is where, like, you give me shit about, like, loving things that are different.
I also have seen you start to come around on that and start to embrace things, like, really love and embrace things that are more normal.
Well, yeah. I like things that are quirky type of different, not just, like, different for different sake.
Right.
So the reason where I came to this decision is that, okay, I daily a truck right now, and I love it. It honestly, I kind of really fucking love it. I mean, it just, the inconveniences are minor compared to like just the conveniences of always having a utility vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
To me, at least, at this point in my life. And so I was like, you know what? Cybertruck would be decent to daily as far as a vehicle is concerned. It looks like shit. It is
well, and it goes back to my point of when you're driving through a metropolis and you catch, a reflection of your car in the mirror building or whatever, in the glass building.
Yep.
You're like, ugh.
Yeah.
And that's you.
Luckily, I don't drive through many metropolises.
That's true.
I really don't.
That's true.
And I love it. No, the main reason for this is I just feel it would be more usable. It's also larger by a little bit than the Mach.
It is.
Than the Mach-E.
The Mach-E.
The Mach-E.
The Mach-E.
So
the Mach-E, though, has like a pretty long wheelbase, though. It's 3 inches longer than the Cayenne.
Yeah.
It's like 117, I think.
Yeah, and my main thing is just the Cybertruck being a truck. I think it would be a better daily, and it also weighs more. And
the cool thing about the Cybertruck, though, that not as many people have talked about, so the bed itself has a rolling cover.
Yes.
Like a sliding cover. Like the same kind of cover that I had on my cup holders in my Outback.
Yep.
Where you just pull it and there's this whole thing that slides up and covers the entire compartment.
Yeah, you can get them even for regular pickup beds.
Yeah, but this is completely integrated.
It's integrated, yeah.
Yeah.
This is factory.
Yeah.
But, and so I think that's all really cool. But, in theory, you'd think, well, okay, the Cybertruck is faster, and it's all up in the air as to which one would actually be better on track.
They also don't exist yet, so
yeah,
it's
neither
all
of them is
speculation.
real, technically, at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we're like, what, a year to a year and a half away from the Mustang. We're
minimum 2 years
I mean,
for the Cybertruck.
And that's if Tesla can keep their word on their production, which they don't necessarily have a great track record
Historically speaking.
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
So the Mustang, to me on track, I don't know. Neither of them would be great track weapons, and so I would just rather have the truck as the daily vehicle.
The truck being a 3-motor, if you opt for that, would be interesting.
It would be interesting. We just don't know how either of them would handle, being that the truck would supposedly weigh around 6,000 pounds.
That's true, but it also, I mean, electric cars, they have their mass in different places.
Low center of gravity, yeah.
Yeah, and the skateboard and all that stuff. It would be interesting, though.
Yeah. It would be interesting.
I want to see someone race a Cybertruck now. I think that'd be hilarious.
No, I would just rather have the Mustang on the track, not even for pedigree's sake, quote unquote, because it doesn't have any.
I would love to see a photo of you driving a Mach-E, chasing down like a Shelby GT500, going down like the straight of UMC. That would be hysterical.
Just yeah, because especially when the GT comes out, I think the GT. Let me bring that up. The Mach-E GT. That is a mouthful.
It's not even just a mouthful. It just is.
So like
awkward.
the Ford name would be Ford Mustang Mach-E GT.
Yes.
Mach-E GT. Sounds Japanese.
It really does.
Gosh.
Sounds like an animator, like an 80s anime artist.
Okay. Boom. Mach-E. I just wanted to look up really quick. So, okay, yeah, the GT is mid 3 seconds 0 to 60. So, obviously pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, that's very fast.
Yeah.
For street cars.
Yep. And I don't think they've released any top speed info.
I mean, it's an electric car,
so you're probably thinking
125, maybe 140.
Yeah, something in that range.
Until like electric car companies can really get a handle on like a 2-speed system.
Well,
some have.
Yeah, and I think the main problem people would run into is you have to do 2 speeds that shift simultaneously front and rear because it's 2 separate motors.
Right.
That's where it makes it difficult.
Well, a friend of mine, you probably know. Do you know Dan Chilinsky?
Mm-hmm.
He has his his Lemons car.
Yeah.
Do you know about it?
I've seen it.
Is what, in person?
No, like on Facebook.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, a friend of not necessarily this program, but of Cam Auto Mag and a friend of mine. Among other cars, he has competed in the 24 Hours of Lemons, and he's raced not all over the place, but he's done Sonoma. Did he do Thunderhill? He might have done Thunderhill. I can't remember. But he has this car called the FX32, which is basically the front end out of... Well, no, the rear end is out of an AW11 MR2, and the front end is out of a Corolla, out of some like 80s Corolla,
Yeah.
I think. And he has two separate gearboxes, two engines.
Well, yeah, here's the primary difference, though. So he only needs that to work for one race.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it doesn't even necessarily last the entire race. He's also a single person with the help of some others, not a company.
Not a company
has
that has
money
to
for R&D
and
all
has
that
to
stuff.
warranty it. That's the
Right.
main thing, is they have to design it to...
They have to warranty it, but they also have, months and months and years of R&D and expertise in that regard.
Oh, yeah. No, my point is that it's by no means is it impossible to time those together.
It's not.
It's just you have to
It takes
do
a but, especially for transmissions.
because
I
it
mean,
would all
even
be
for a
electronic.
small-
It would all be programming.
Yes, well, programming, but also just time and R&D and driving it.
Yep.
I mean, even for a small company like Integrated Engineering here in Salt Lake, for them to modify DSG tunes in Volkswagens and Audis takes a lot.
Yes.
I mean, I think even Cobb has PDK tunes,
Yeah.
which doesn't necessarily make sense to me.
Well, you just think PDK is perfection.
It is perfection. It is God. It is the
Tell-
God Almighty in a transmission form.
Tell that to the poor PDK that was in Andrew's Porsche. The one that dropped clutch for no goddamn reason as we tried to lightly pull
Oh my
away.
God! I wish I was a fly on the wall for when that car got just wrecked by the previous drivers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I
That
know.
poor car.
What it went through.
That is the one exception.
I could find more.
I'm sure you can.
Give me 5 minutes.
I'm sure you can find
You think
more.
we have done...
We live in the age of the internet. You can find anything. I get that.
and I
but
agree with that.
Anecdotally, it doesn't fucking happen very often.
It doesn't, no. We've had them. We had a couple in the early PDKs in Matt's shop that we had to do small repairs on, like sensors and shit like that that go bad.
And PDK is not DSG. They
I
are
know.
two very different gearboxes.
I know.
I know people will mix them up because
they operate.
oh, Porsche and Volkswagen own each other, and it's a dual clutch gearbox, so it must be the same, right? Nope.
They operate more similar than you might think.
Yeah,
Not
I
just
mean,
in operation, but they do share quite a few components.
but in their setup though, they're like backwards and upside down, and reverse, and like they're not the same.
No, they're not.
They might share components, but they are not the same transmissions.
Yeah. As always in big companies, they share some internal componentry and stuff and clutch actuators.
I hear that
and
the
shit.
PDK and the 992 is a whole lot better though, and like when you launch, it drops clutch even harder. Yeah,
That defines better to you?
I mean for a 0 to 60 time,
Yeah.
if you're looking at numbers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm sure, but anyways, but back to the task at hand.
Can we get back to the task at hand?
You can just start voicing those guys. He sound exactly like him, screechy little bastard.
Hey Jerry.
And stop. But yeah, no, I think I would just end up doing that because I would rather have the truck as a daily, and
It is more practical,
And
and
the-
the fact that it has a bed.
and I've just never been a fan of crossovers anyway, so I want it to die.
Also, you get to be a total hype beast, and wear your like Supreme with your iPhone and your fucking gold chain,
None
and,
of
and
which
your fucking
I have.
Yeezys in your Cybertruck.
Yeah, my Yeezys.
Dude,
that
fucking
are-
hard flex, dude. This is an audio-only podcast. No one knows what you're wearing.
I know, right?
He's wearing Yeezys.
No, I'm not. I'm wearing. I don't even remember-
Yeezys.
I'm wearing boots. Damn it,
Anyways,
man boots.
dead ass. Dead ass Tim's.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
That's definitely where I would end up. No matter what, the Leaf needs to die. I want to personally kill the Maquis
Okay.
and
But on track.
on track, yeah. And the Cybertruck, as much as I hate the looks, I could deal with it in real life from a functionality standpoint.
I could see you, not myself, but I could see you if you had it for a year, looking at how you feel about the car on day one and
Yeah.
then on day 365.
Yeah.
It would have absolutely changed and evolved, and you would probably love it.
I'd probably love the functionality of it. I don't know if I could ever grow to completely love the looks.
I could see you being half and half on looks.
Yeah, I would probably be like, I don't hate it anymore, but I also don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but Yeah.
Anyways, let us know what you would decide. Would you crush the Cybertruck? Because I would at least want to.
According to all the trolls on the internet, they would. All the
So-
people who couldn't afford it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm one of those people though. I can't afford it, but I also wouldn't want it.
Yep.
There's a lot of other ways I'd spend $70,000.
Yes.
A lot of other
I'd buy the
ways.
Rossion.
If you can get them for that, yeah.
You can. That's about what they sell for used, 70 to 90.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Anyways, let us know what you would do on your Track Daily Crush. Let us know what you would do with the Levante and the Mach-E and the Cybertruck. Can you stand to be seen in that thing? I know I wouldn't. But yeah, until next time, I've been Gavin.
and I've been Justin.
And this has been the Exhibition of Speed podcast. Goodbye.